Racing Victoria continues to fine-tune its off-track programs and was front and centre at the recent Equestrian show and the Borneo Show Jumping Championships. So what's in store for the future as far as finding new homes for our thoroughbreds away from racing? Mel, it's incredible, isn't it? The off-the-track program from Racing Victoria, it's 10 years now that you've been operating and you've made some wonderful achievements helping thoroughbreds away from racing.
Yes, Caroline, it seems incredible that Off the Track is actually celebrating 10 years in 2022. We're really proud of this program and we're proud that it's been in action for 10 years. And we've celebrated it all throughout this year with all our activations and all our events. We've got a special OTT celebrating 10 years logo, our merchandise. We've activated with all our community to inform them and to educate that we have been around for 10 years and we intend to be around for many more decades to come.
The important thing, I guess, that we're seeing right around Australia is to forge links with the equestrian community. So whether it be EA, Equestrian Australia, or, you know, in your case, Equestrian Victoria, I mean, the amount of horses that you're getting competing, thoroughbreds competing at equestrian events is astronomical now.
Yes, that's right, Caroline. So in Victoria, we have some wonderful equestrian partners who we work really closely with. As you mentioned, Equestrian Victoria, Borneo Park, Always Pony Club Victoria, HRCAV, and even in the more non-competitive space like the Riding for the Disabled and Equine Pathways Australia, they're really engaged partners who are always looking to support off-the-track thoroughbreds in their second post-racing careers.
And as you mentioned, I mean, something like Equine Pathways Australia, Warren Moore and Julia Battams, they do such a wonderful job, and Riding for Disabled, highlighting that thoroughbreds don't just have to go into those competitive environments, do they?
That's exactly right. So we've got some wonderful partners in Riding for the Disabled and Equine Pathways Australia who are in that non-competitive space, and that's one of our really main objectives in the OTT program, is to support non-competitive thoroughbreds in their pursuit. So that might include trail riding, riding schools and equine therapy, and we've really been able to support those disciplines through our Equine Business Grants program, where we're working with local businesses, providing them some grant funding support and encouraging them to take on more retired thoroughbreds in their business operations and their everyday.
Express eventing is pretty much like a modified eventing made for the crowds really, so that we can do it in an arena. We don't have a dressage phase, it's just a combination of show jumps and cross-country jumps, and it's basically against the clock.
And it is about really supporting the equestrian events as well. You know, we really are seeing it all around Australia with prize money for these competitions. It really does incentivise riders to think about taking on a thoroughbred. And if you look at something like Equestrian, just held recently in Victoria, just an incredible competition, including your exhibition stand, you were educating people, and you even had eventing jumps as well. And it was really great to see such engagement from so many of the Victorian public generally.
Equestrian that was recently held at the Royal Melbourne Showgrounds was a wonderful, huge event for all things horse, including OTTs. And we had a wonderful trade stand where we saw literally thousands of OTT owners every single day come up and speak to us, proudly telling us about their off-the-track horses and what they were doing with them. We're really thrilled to support the Express Eventing class, which was a wonderful exhibition of some really top-class OTTs. Shane Rose competed, and of course Sophia Hill. Secret Mojo is one of our favourite OTTs with Murray Lampard. And we also were able to run 4 educational sessions. The level of engagement overall at Equestrian was fantastic.
And then at Borneo Park, as you mentioned, you have such a great association there, but the Australian Show Jumping Championships, I mean, we're actually seeing a lot of the development of thoroughbreds at junior levels of show jumping, but they're really quite quickly graduating to more elite levels, aren't they?
We absolutely love working with Fiona Selby at Borneo Park. She's such a wonderful supporter of all our OTT programs. She's never short of a new idea. And we've recently supported the Australian Show Jumping Championships, which is just such a flagship event. And it's so wonderful to see off-the-track thoroughbreds on the big stage with all the big show jumpers. But we are really excited to announce in the new year a new Rising Star event, which is a series for off-the-track show jumpers who have just retired in the last 2 years. It'll be a maximum height of 80 centimetres, and we've received feedback from off-the-track riders that they feel like, you know, there's a little bit more of a niche to support, I guess, newcomer off-the-track horses. So we're all about always improving and carving out new initiatives for our OTT. So if we can improve them in any way, we're always open to it, and we love working with people like Fiona to make those things happen.
I'm really interested in this because it is for studbook registered thoroughbreds that last raced or trialled in the last 2 years before the event. And it's really important because, you know, a lot of people taking on thoroughbreds as a new horse, it's hard to compete against the horses that have been show jumping for 4 or 5 years. So you sort of had the best of both worlds for the novices and the experienced horses.
That's exactly right. We really want to support and create events for recently retired thoroughbreds who are still a little bit green to show jumping and are learning the ropes and learning the show jumping skill. So to put on classes like this Rising Star series is really about supporting those off-the-track riders and those newcomer horses.
And of course, another of the 3-day event disciplines and a wonderful competition in its own right is, of course, dressage. So you've started off a new series of events and it's fantastic prize money, $7,000 overall, but $2,000 for the novice and preliminary winners. That is really good prize money when you're travelling horses and trying to compete in these events.
Yeah, that's right. The off-the-track dressage series is back again in 2022 and 2023. We love supporting those prelim and novice classes for off-the-track thoroughbreds. That's really, you know, that's the grassroots of dressage, and it's really where we see big numbers of competitors. And, you know, it's always really hard to compete against a flashy, purpose-bred warm blood, and we want to support our off-the-trackers to really compete, I guess, apples against apples, and to be able to succeed and compete successfully against other like-minded thoroughbreds and their owners.
And Mel, I'm really interested, the OTT community, this is just fantastic because, you know, it can be hard in the equestrian world. Obviously, a lot of it's done by volunteers and it's hard to know when events are on and what's happening and what's coming up. But explain a bit about how you can help some of the thoroughbred riders to find the right events for their thoroughbreds.
Yeah, so the off-the-track community, which is ottcommunity.com.au, is our one-stop shop and home of all things post-racing and all of Racing Victoria's post-racing programs. So we always encourage OTT owners and riders to head to the platform. You can claim your horse on there. Any of our programs you can nominate for on there, and we've got a one-stop shop with all our events, our sponsored events, and the upcoming calendar. So owners and trainers can plan their campaign for their off-the-trackers and know what events they're really trying to target.
Racing Victoria is a really good example, I guess, to some of the smaller states of what can be done. You know, you're achieving so much for so many thoroughbreds and, you know, for racing owners to find good homes and for the people taking them on. But obviously some of the smaller states don't have the same sort of prize money contributions to work with. But what do you see overall as some of the things that they can learn from what you're doing?
Well, we are always happy to work with different PRAs and different organisations to share our learnings. We don't always get it right in the first instance, but we're always trying to improve and build on what we've done previously. What I do know is there are a lot of people out there who are super passionate about welfare and retired racehorses and post-racing careers, whether that be different equestrian organisations or retrainers or just experienced horse people. So my advice would be to work really closely with them, to tap into their knowledge and just to see what you can build on collectively towards a really great goal and a great cause.
You know, it is about the optics. It's about actually physically doing something for thoroughbreds, but it is also about how it comes across to people. You know, the anti-racing brigade, we saw Kick Up for Racing started through the Melbourne Cup Carnival just to try and have some facts and figures to give back to people, you know, when they're criticising the industry and the promotions that you do and being so visible. It is so important, isn't it?
It is. It's really important. The work that the off-the-track community does in providing really wonderful post-racing careers is something that we always need to communicate and tell the wider public about. At Racing Victoria alone, we have a network of over 50 acknowledged retrainers, and collectively they retrain over 500 horses a year, which we always think is a really great number. We've always got room to grow, but it's so many horses getting such a great start once they retire from racing and heading into their next career.